involved in organizations where the volunteers are not treated very nice, and they're expected to do things, but you look back, but they never. They don't even get a thank you, and so that tends to, I guess you could say, literally suck the energy out of that volunteer team, where then they have no desire to continue doing any volunteer work. So I can see where it's probably more of a challenge to be a leader to volunteers than it is to actually be a leader of a corporation where you have paid employees. What do you think? I mean, is there a difference really, or?
Oh, absolutely, because of the fact that volunteers typically will have other jobs or other responsibilities. Mm-hmm. So volunteering can be very stressful, actually, because I think you are pushing yourself a little bit more to do something that you're passionate about, that you feel that you love to do, and so you volunteer to help. But it still can be a stressor in your life, and that's why I think that in an organization, you definitely need to have recognition, and plus you also have to have fun. You have to lighten the load. You have to, make and do things outside of just the normal. So if you typically meet, once a month, and you have your volunteer meeting, and you go through, whatever you need to talk about, but schedule things, fun things, social things, going out and getting pizza together or going to play miniature golf together, just things that get you out of the normal meeting atmosphere so that you can all just relax and have fun together and build that camaraderie in a team.
Yeah, getting to know the whole person and not just a business segment or speaking segment of a person. So I like that concept you're talking about there.
Yeah. I love the idea of going out and having fun, because I think even within I love fun within even a business environment, though, and it is important to make sure if you have employees that, again, I know those annual reviews are there, but I know I've had a review before, and there was really, from when I worked in corporate, and it was a nice review, but there was really not much, maybe a little percentage of a raise or something. But I like the fact that when during the year you have kind of like milestones or maybe some goals that you have to set within your organization that you should do with your employees, so that as a leader, you're helping them to continually grow, and again, rolling up your sleeves and being right there with them and cheering them on. And I would see that, I can see that would really make for a really pleasurable place to work in.
Well, and if you look at, most of the best organizations to work for or best places to work, most of the time you will see how the leaders really go into the organization and they communicate and they engage with all of the employees. In fact, I read a very interesting article the other day about Elon Musk, who is, the founder of Tesla and, many other organizations. But then he was actually faced with very high accident occurrences in the workplace, and he didn't know why this was happening, and he felt horrible because people were getting hurt, and he didn't know why. So he literally, every single person that was injured in any way, he met with them one-on-one, sat down with them, talked to them, asked them what they thought needed to happen to avoid any type of injury, and actually helped them with all of the paperwork that they needed for workers' comp. I mean, he just really got down to the individual level and made sure that he took care of the situation. And when employees in an organization see their leader have that kind of respect, then don't you think that they're going to be much more willing to put their all into their job, versus someone who is just up at the top and never really engages with the employees?
Oh yeah, having your back covered is, that's a very motivating standpoint for most of us. And the other thing is it's showing respect that somebody's going to respect me. My boss respects me. He honors what my contribution is to my job and the team as a whole. So, when you talk about Elon Musk like that, yes, I mean that's an immense leadership, and willing to accept the people that you employ as having something valuable to contribute to the team as a whole also.
Exactly. And another leader that I just have a high respect for is Richard Branson.
Oh, yes.
And his motto is listen, learn, and laughter. And he was in an interview not too long ago, and the key to his success in being a leader is he treats his employees like equals, and he treats them like family, and he's respectful to them. And he's had huge successes and one of the best places to work.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've admired him since I think he had a reality show or something on TV years ago. And I just who is this guy? And I remember doing so much research about him, and I just follow him constantly and just love articles he puts out and his, different things that he does. And because he is highly respected, there's a number of individuals like you mentioned, Elon Musk and Richard Branson. John C. Maxwell's one of them that I
Les Brown.
Yeah, Les Brown. I mean, there's so many leaders out there that we all look up to. And sometimes I know myself as an individual, I think, how can I even match up to that? I mean, how can I become that type of a leader? Are there some recommendations that you could maybe provide to our listening audience today of maybe some skill sets that they may want to really, if they truly want to be a leader, as you've been describing here today, are there some skill sets that they may want to learn how to enhance? And I'm sure Toastmasters can help them do that. So you want to definitely let them know where the Toastmaster groups are and how they can get involved, right?
Absolutely. Well, I think the most positive traits of some of the leaders that I respect and some of the ways that I have seen being a leader has been very impactful. When we talked about this earlier, is just leading by example and self-awareness, always being aware of how people are seeing you, how you are presenting yourself in front of people, how are you reacting and communicating with other people? Are you showing that respect? And then, having that been there, done that, I would never ask someone to do something that I had never had the opportunity to do, or that I would not be willing to jump in and do myself.
Oh,
so if
great.
I had never had the experience, I would definitely be right there with them, helping them, to work on that vision or whatever project it is. If I had not had the experience in doing that, I'd be right there with them, helping them, not just saying, you need to do this. I'd be showing them how. And I think being able to have that, willing to jump in at whatever level and being able to help and work side by side with your team is very, very important. And also you need to be approachable. People need to know that they can come to you with whatever they have, and that, you don't necessarily always have to go up the chain. We always do have a chain of command in every organization, but you still need to be approachable so that when you're out and about, if people do have questions, they feel comfortable coming and asking you and, approaching you and getting some feedback. And then, of course, we talked about the continuous learning and being adaptable and always being willing to reinvent yourself. Like we talked about earlier, all teams are not always going to be the same. So always being able to be open to learning about your team and really working with them at the level that they're comfortable working at. And then motivation. Always, always, always be a motivator for your team and recognize them in every way that you possibly can, because that's going to be what's going to engage them and keep the energy level up and keep them engaged in whatever project or vision you're trying to accomplish.
Those are powerful, powerful golden nuggets for all of our listeners today, because even for those of us that are entrepreneurs, and we may not be leading a team, we still need to be a leader to ourselves. So every one of those skill sets that you just mentioned are things that we should work on, because hopefully as we grow our business, we'll grow a team and we'll be more confident then to be able to lead that team to take our business to that next level.
Well, even throw in the fact that, being in business somewhere, you either have clients or customers.
That's true.
And you need to be a leader for your clients or customers, and you want to be that go-to person. So when they feel a question or they have a need coming up in their business in an area that you are professional at, you want to be the one. You want to be the one they call. Mm-hmm. You don't want them to think about it. Go ahead, Nancy.
Right, and even though you're an entrepreneur and you may be the only one in your business at the time and you don't really have employees or teams or things, you are still a community leader in your community. If you're a business owner or if you're doing business in your community, you're still a community leader. So you have that whole team out there of community that you can, that you need to involve and make sure that they are comfortable approaching you and that you're showing them that you're a true leader.
Very, very important point there, for sure. So how can our listeners find out more about the Toastmasters? I know there's Toastmasters International, then we have the District 84 here in our Central Florida area. So if you could provide them where they can go get and gather more information and how they can get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, our website is www.toastmastersd as in district 84.org. And when you go to that site, up at the top right-hand corner, there is a link called Find a Club. Mm-hmm. And you can click on that. You can put in your zip code and find every club that meets within that 5 or 10 mile radius that you designate. And I always encourage everyone to, try at least 3 clubs, check out 3 clubs, because you'll find the one that has a personality and, where you really click, that has the same goals and things like that you're looking for. And also, anybody that you might know that's a Toastmaster, just, visit their club, go with them. And, we have over 100 clubs just in the Central Florida area. So there's lots of opportunities out there.
Wow. And when you go to toastmastersd84.org, right underneath on that right-hand side of the navigation where it says Find a Club, there is an awesome picture of Nancy having fun with her team.
Well, yes. And this year our theme was Running for the Roses. So we had a theme of racehorse, type. And we, all of our DEC meetings, our district executive committee meetings and everything were geared around horse racing, and we use that as our motivation, and we set different goals based on, the different levels of horse racing, whether it's the Kentucky Derby, the Belmont Stakes, the Preakness, things like that. Mm-hmm. And each of our division directors actually had a stick pony, and we rewarded the stick ponies, and we just had a really good time with it. We did team building things with the stick ponies. So that's, again, incorporating some fun into all of the work that you do really makes the work worth it.
Well, I'm thinking of your profile picture on social media with you and Scott. That's another fun event that you did with the masquerade or something too. Yes. So I love it.
Yes, that was at one of our conferences. So of course our conferences are always themed on the Friday night, and we always have. That was the weekend with. It was our black and white conference, and it was a weekend with Truman Capote.
Oh wow. Fun. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now, on the District 84 website, under Find a Club, if they're not in the Central Florida area or Northern Florida area, can they still find clubs outside the area, or do they need to go to Toastmasters?
No, that actually links to the Toastmasters International site,
cool.
So that will find a club in any zip code anywhere.
And if there is not one in their area, what do you recommend?
Oh, they can start a club.
I knew that was coming.
That was a perfect baited question.
I knew that was coming.
Yes.
There's always a way to get involved. And if I understand right, if you're a member of Toastmasters and you're traveling, are you able to stop in and visit other groups along the way?
Yes, that's one of the many, many benefits of Toastmasters is the networking opportunity and the concierge opportunity, because once you're a member of any club, you can go visit any club anywhere. So even if you're wanting to get into an